Hello, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Remember when I was saying I was having a hard time with my baby album and I was wondering why? Well, this is probably part of the problem. I've come across several bins of photos, envelopes with memorabilias. I've got photos here that were scanned, and these were from the previous album. I've got these albums here, this photo box with photos. It's pretty much a mess. So I think that the easiest thing to do and the next thing to do is to sort all of this out, and I'm going to add them in here in a photo box. And I haven't been doing that lately because most of my photos are digital. But when you come across photos that are in this kind of condition and in a mess, it's time to kind of organize things so that going through the process of scrapbooking them is going to be a little bit more enjoyable. So these are the layouts I did about 15 years ago. I do want to recreate them, and I'm going to go through all of these boxes and all of these albums and folders that I have and sort my photos. We do take for granted how easy it is to scrapbook with digital photos today. But you know what? This is a process that needs to happen in order for me to complete my book. So I did go through all of my little boxes, as you can see here, and it didn't take that long, to be honest. Okay, so as you can see, my sorting was successful. I found some real gems. I actually found my card from the hospital. I found my original birth certificate. So I did have quite a bit of stuff. And if you stick around till the end here, I'm going to show you how I address these little treasures that I found while I was sorting. Now that I have them all sorted out, and basically I did a little bit of detective work and I was looking at outfits and similar photos that matched. These were photos of me spending time at the arena because my brother was a hockey player. So this is what I've done so far, and I think that's going to help with the album. Another thing that's going to help is this great sketchbook. So I'm using this sketch right here on page 11, and I flipped over my 2 pages, and I'll show you here why I did that. So the original sketch is like this. And the way that I selected my pattern papers, I just felt that there wasn't a lot of balance to this page. So I'm going to flip it over, and I just find that there's the right amount of balance with the darker green. And I was lucky enough, these photos are all 4x4s, so I could flip them either on this side or this page right here. I also created these really pretty flowers. These are from the Cosette digital art collection, and if you want to see how I created those, I will link that in the description box down below. I did go ahead and on my computer I printed my journaling. I'm going to cut this in half, and I'm going to assemble this page very, very quickly. So if you're wondering where the design came for those flowers, when I was looking at these die cuts, so these are the little die cuts that come with the Cosette collection. So I took my inspiration from the die cuts and I stamped black on the French vanilla cardstock, and I think that it's a really nice complement to this layout. I've gone ahead here and I've adhered everything down, so let's take a closer look. As I mentioned, I did my journaling on my computer and I did match that black border with my title. The title was done using a PML card, and right here I did use that black doily, and I found that it really grounded my embellishment cluster, and yes, they do match the little thin cuts that are with that collection. Again, I did use layout number 11 from our sketchbook, and I think this layout turned out really nice. So let's move along to the second layout, and this one here is on page 12. So these are the 2 sketches that I created. This was my contribution to this great book that we're using here today. And I've gone ahead and I've resized some of my photos. This was part of my little treasures that I found in my sorting, and this little card actually comes from these 2 people right here in the photo. And here I have my title. And I don't know about you guys, but I always lose that little dot. And I thought I would put everything in a little bag to make sure that I don't this time. So this is going to go right here at the bottom. And yes, I did cut this on my Cricut, and I will list the fonts that I use down in the description below. Again, we are using the sketch on page 12. Through the magic of video, everything has been adhered down. I'm showing off here this gorgeous cluster done with the digital art collection, and I managed to keep that little dot on top of the J. Pretty happy about that. Here at the bottom I have another cluster that's a combination of stickers, digital collection, and this piece here is from the pattern paper. I did use the Avery clear labels here for the journaling. That's a great tip I've learned from my friend Erin. Let's get back to that hidden journaling, or not so much journaling in this case here, but hidden memorabilias. Remember I told you that I found a whole bunch of kind of neat things. My mom had this thing where she kept the dollar of the year you were born, so I am a centennial baby, so that's kind of neat. Here are our little baby bracelet and mom bracelet, and this is the little card that was on my bassinet when I was in the hospital. So I've tucked these all into a page protector, and again, this is a great tip that I've learned from Erin. I'm going to shove this right here on the back. Well, I'm not going to shove it on the back. I'm actually going to glue this right here on the backhand side of this layout, and I'm going to keep all of these things with this layout. So the same thing here, this is the little handwritten card that was from my godparents right here, and I tried to put it on the layout itself, but then I thought, you know what, I'm going to sneak this one again at the back. I did use a smaller page protector here, or flip flap I should say. It is a 3x3, and the reason for that is I just want it to be easier to kind of grab that little card from the top, because I am going to use the actual flip flap adhesive part right on the top, and I'm going to glue that right on the back of this page. So I am using red line tape. I'm going to burnish that in, as you saw, and then I'm just going to peel back on both of those tape, including the one that's already with the flip flap, and I'm going to put that right on the back side of my layout. And I think this is a really cool tip, and it's very, very easy and very practical. So I'm going to add this right here. I'm going to line it up just like so, and there we have our little card. Let me flip that over. There we go. That looks better. Okay, so we've got our little card right here at the back. And then I'm going to do the very same thing here. Oh, that's my original birth certificate. I'm just going to shove that in between the two layouts. But for this one here, I'm going to tuck it right on the back side. So this one, I didn't really care if you couldn't access it right at the top. So that's why it's a longer pocket, and I also wanted to have that dollar fit in there nicely. As you can see, I am well on my way to completing this album, and I do have a few good tips for you. One, use a sketch. It takes the guessing game out, definitely. So I use the ones that I created for this book on page 11 and 12, and then sort your photos, because that's going to help too. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I will come back with a couple more videos because I am determined to completing my baby album, and I think that this format is a lot of fun. I feel like I was able to do 4 layouts, but if it was a 12 by 12, it probably would have been only 2. I'm not sure, but so far so good. I'm enjoying the process, and I hope you are too. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber, I would love for you to join. I will see you next time. Take care, and bye for now.